All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I am so excited to have you here. My name is Jennifer Bonner. I am the manager of nursing services here at Archer Review, and I am so excited. We are here for the very first Next Gen Nurses free webinar series of 2026. I cannot believe it, y'all. 25 went way too fast, but here we are getting a kick start. So, if we have never met before, like I said, my name is Jennifer Bonner. I'm the manager of nursing services here at Archer Review. And so, a lot of what I do is private tutoring, webinars. I do a lot of education. I work a little bit with the APRNs as well. And so, chances are, if you are joining me here, you are either thinking about nursing school, you're in nursing school, maybe you just graduated, getting ready to graduate. Maybe you are getting ready to take your NCLEX. Wherever you are on that nursing journey, we are here for you. And I'm so excited to have you joining me. So, the first thing I want to know is where are you joining me from? I'm curious, where are you joining me from? Let me know in the webinar chat. And you're going to notice that if you're joining me on Zoom, there's a couple different things that you have. You have a webinar chat, but you also have a Q&A. So the Q&A is available for if you have a question that you need answered. I'm happy to see those there. But let me know, where are you joining me from? And so I am in a little bit of a chilly South Dakota. It's a very chilly morning, but we're excited. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and I absolutely love it. So, regardless of where you are on this nursing journey, we want to come alongside you. We don't want this to be um, make you feel like you're on an island because we're all in this together. We've all been there. Remember, here at Archer Review, we are still nurses. We know what it was like to be in that spot. And so I'm hoping that you feel supported. So before we get started, let's go ahead and check out what is going on at Archer Review this week. So I'm going to head on over to www.archerreview.com. I'm going to head on over to these three little lines over here, and we are going to choose RN. NCLEX is going to give me everything that's going on in this area. And so we're going to scroll down a little bit. You're going to see our SurePass. So if you're someone that you're getting ready to take your NCLEX, you're not really sure what to do, SurePass is a really great option there. And then we're going to come down here and you're going to see that we have some webinars. So in just a couple days, on the 8th, we are going to be doing a free webinar on how to boost your confidence getting started with Archer Review. And then you see we have some options for next week as well. Now, the other thing I want to check out is what availability do we have for tutoring? And so for tutoring, we have both NCLEX and nursing school. So we have tutoring available for really any of the areas that you might be struggling with. If you're someone that really struggles with pharmacology or maternity or mental health, we can go through all of those areas. So our tutoring is completely individualized. So if you show up and you say, Jennifer, I have no idea what I need help with, we can absolutely help you. No problem at all. Or if you show up and go, hey, listen, maternity is not my jam. I'm really struggling. Can you help? The answer is absolutely yes. And so we offer both 30-minute and 60-minute sessions. Our 30-minute sessions are $40. Our 60-minute sessions are $75. And during that time, you have our complete attention. You have the ability to ask questions. We can set up a game plan, a study plan for you. We can go through questions together, whatever it is that you need. We are here for you. And so you're going to see that today we have a basic care and comfort small group that starts at, this is in Mountain Standard Time, so it starts at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We have a testing strategies webinar that starts at 3 p.m. Central Time. And then it looks like our private tutoring session for today has booked with Megan, but we do have one available tomorrow with Megan for an hour session if that's something you're interested in. On the 7th, we have an hour session available with Megan. And on the 8th, we have another hour session with Megan. So if those are any interest to you, go ahead, check those out. Remember, it's first come, first serve. So we have a couple available this week. If that's something that you're needing, go ahead and grab those up before they're gone. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in and find out how can we start strong in nursing school. And so I'm sure a lot of you are just getting back into the swing of things. Maybe you still got another week left, but it's never too early to start getting organized. And so there's a couple things that I want to go through with you. And that is, getting started. When I believe it was um the movie The Sound of Music, I think she says, let's start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start. And absolutely, just kind of getting our things together, figuring out what is my plan, maybe pulling all of my syllabi together so I have them in one place. Y'all, I'm somebody that I have to have things printed out. I need to be able to get my highlighters out. I have all of the colors. I have blue, I have green, I have yellow, I have pink, I have them all. And then I have this really unhealthy bag of pens that come in just about any color I could need. And so grab the things that you're going to need. The next thing is grabbing a calendar. Now, there's a few different ways that people will use a calendar. I'm one that I like to use just a printed one. I like to be able to write things down. I like to check things off. I also like to use, anybody with me like to use sticky notes? Y'all, sometimes, actually, I don't have mine here, but I did make a little checkbox sheet so I can remember the things that I need to do today. It's definitely a Monday, so that's where I'm at, having those check boxes. And so if this is something that you are wanting to get organized, start there. Start by using your sticky notes. Make a little to-do box. Print syllabi. Circle due dates or highlight test dates, things like that. Sometimes I will even I will highlight in different colors. So maybe I'm going to decide that my test dates are going to be in pink and my assignments are going to be in blue. Just something so I can organize some things. Another thing that people like to use is their digital calendar. And that one works great because it has the ability to notify you. So letting you know, hey, you've got an assignment coming up. I even use Siri. So I can say, hey, set a reminder for me today at 9 p.m. to, and then whatever that thing is that I need to do. And so it will remind you. The other thing I want you to do is set some goals. Y'all, short term, long term goals, all of those things are necessary. So set a goal for today, for this week, for this month, for this semester, and track those. See how you're doing and set yourself up for success. Now, I am someone that I really, really enjoy some incentive. Anybody with me enjoy some incentives? I'm that way. And so when I hit certain goals, I'm going to reward myself with various things. Maybe that is a new package of pens, or I have a very favorite pencil that I like. I'm very particular. I have these mechanical pencils. I don't have any here in my, actually I do. For some reason, I really love these. They have fun colors and they fit really well in my hand. And sometimes I'll just reward myself with something as simple as that. Or a local ice cream shop that we have here. When you get a kids meal, they come with a free, what's called a Scoopy coupon. And so I will take those so that it's no extra cost to me and I will go get a scoop of ice cream. So set yourself some goals and remember your why. Put those wherever you need to, in your car, in your bathroom, in your book, on your textbooks, in your backpack, wherever you need to put those to remember why you're doing what you're doing is going to help keep you motivated. And remember, we're all in this together. So sometimes finding a friend is really helpful too, because their motivation a lot of times will rub off. Now, this is just a sample of kind of a weekly calendar that you might want to use. Blocking time off is really important. Scheduling time to study, but also scheduling time with your family and friends is really important too. Because if we have that nice balance, and sometimes it's gonna be a little bit of maybe one-sided versus the other, but schedule in some time to see your family because they want to see you too, but they also know that you're working really hard. So go ahead, schedule in those study times, put your clinicals in there, put your class times in there. Whatever is going on in your life that can't be moved, go ahead and put those in there so that you can kind of start scheduling around those things. So how might this work? Well, I might go ahead and so I'm going to go ahead and do a little, I'm going to highlight here. So highlighter, and I'm going to do blue. And let's say on Mondays, I have class from 9 to 4. So I'm going to go ahead and block this off here. Now, this will look a lot better on your end than it does on mine. My pencil gets a little bit crazy in there. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of block that off. I'm going to put it in a color and I'm going to just type class. Okay. And so that I know that's when I have class. Now, the next thing I want to do is, okay, so I'm in class from 9 to 4. I'm going to need some travel time in there. It's going to be taking me about 30 minutes to get to class, 30 minutes to get home. I need to cook some dinner. So then I'm going to put here at, let's say, 8 o'clock. I'm going to put my kids to bed at 7:30. So at 8 o'clock, I'm going to put in some study time. Okay. So that's kind of how I'm going to structure my day. But I also have to take my kids to school and they need to be dropped off at 7 a.m. So I'm going to put that in there. Move this over just a little bit so that I kind of know what I have going on in my schedule. So I see where my holes are. And remember, without a doubt, things are going to happen. COVID's going around, it's cold and flu season, things happen all the time. But if I can go ahead and look at my day and go, okay, here's what I have going on, it's going to be a little bit easier for me to go ahead and move things around. Okay, so getting yourself a calendar, whether it's digital or paper, whatever works for you, is going to be really helpful. Now, when it comes to studying time, there is a really big push for having the moment where you are organized, right? Having some organized time. So having a surface that's clean. I would be a little bit embarrassed to show you my desk right now. It looks like a little bit of a tornado happened. We had an amazing Christmas time together, and I think somebody may have been in my office. So have a clean slate. And there's a couple reasons for that. Is because when we sit down, we start to notice our environment and we start to get distracted. So when I was in nursing school, a lot of times I would study at my kitchen table. I would have my coffee, I would have my pens, I would have my notebooks, I would have all my things, my candle, and I would have my favorite plant. Just made me happy. And I would always have the windows open so that I could see outside. I'd love to see the sunshine or the leaves falling or the snow falling, whatever it was. But inevitably, if the night before I did not put my dishes away, or maybe we had a big party and there were dishes left in the sink, I could see my sink from my kitchen table. And so what I had to do was I had to either face the opposite direction or find a different place to be because my attention was drawn to those dishes and how much they needed to get done. So try to minimize those distractions at the best you can. We know life is crazy. There's always something going on. But one of our big distractions is this right here. And so, one thing that I like to do is I like to go ahead and silence my phone and just put it upside down. Now, I have lots of different responsibilities. And so, people need to get a hold of me. And so, I might put it on vibrate. Or one thing that's really nice is you're able to um, set up a time where you are able to minimize those distractions and you can put in
Okay, there we go. We got it going. Okay. So you can go in and decide who is able to get through those blocks. So if you have a kiddo at school, or maybe you have a spouse or a sick parent, you can make it so those are the only numbers that come through so that you're able to kind of evaluate what's going on. Okay, so those are some great ideas. And then try to not put too much on yourself. So our brain is much like a toddler, as I like to say. Eventually, your brain will be overfed, and it gets to the point where it says, "Nope, I am not accepting any more information." So you can make me listen to this podcast, you can make me read this book, but I'm not going to retain that information. And so little bitty chunks is going to be important. I would say if you are studying for an exam, no more than 3 to 4 hours at a time. If you're studying for the NCLEX and that's all you're doing, I would say maybe 5 to 6 hours um, is should be sufficient. Okay. All right. And again, I want you to know your why, and I want your friends to know your why, and I want you to know your friends' why so that you can help each other along the way. So, when it comes to studying, there's a few different things that I want you to think about. So, we've gotten organized, we have all of our things ready to go, but I want you to be cognizant of how you learn. Not everybody learns the same way, and you're probably going, Jennifer, this is old hat, this is old news, but maybe it's not. And so, there are a lot of different ways that you can find out your learning style. There's online little quizzes that you can take that will kind of give you an idea of how you learn. But some of us are more visual learners. We need to see it. We need to see different graphs. We need to see mind maps. We need to see flow charts. Those help resonate with us. That helps us to organize the information. So much so that when we get to the exam, we actually start to see those things in our head. Now, others of us are auditory. Some of us, we like to put in those AirPods and we like to go for a jog or a walk or just go for a bike ride while we're listening. We need to be able to hear those things. We need to have conversations. And so, if that's you, those podcasts are going to be helpful for you. We have a podcast called Pulsed In, which is really great, hosted by our very own Morgan Taylor. She does an amazing job with this. But we go through different case studies and talk about information, break that down. And the other one is kinesthetic. You are the type of learner that thrives on lab days. You like to be able to do it, get your hands on stuff. That's how you figure things out. You are a note taker. You're someone that likes to check off things, write things down. If that's you, then starting to do some skeleton notes, some writing down of your notes, going through those things are going to be helpful for you. But you need to know which way you lean so that you can learn the best way that you can for you. Now, the other thing is active studying. So, being a part of the studying. Now, reading is really important. That's what's going to help us kind of understand this information, but we want to be engaged. So, making flashcards, teaching someone else. I always tell students get to the point where you can essentially be an educator. You can explain the why behind these main concepts. Group studying, note taking. So just highlighting isn't really going to be an effective way, but when you get your pencil out and you start writing down those notes and then you start highlighting them, that muscle memory is going to come back to you. And so there's a couple things that I want to go over during the last little bit of our time together. And that is, what does this look practically? How does this look practically? And so one of those things that you can do is flashcards. And flashcards, when I was in, I believe it was middle school, we had an exam and the teacher said, you can bring one note card, just the standard size note card. You can have whatever you want on it and you can use that for the test. Y'all, I have never written so small in my entire life. Never written so small in my entire life. And so I was writing down the littlest details that I thought might be helpful for me when I go to take this exam. And so, um, if that is you, if you are someone that really enjoys note cards, this is not the time to put down every little detail. I want to know, let's say we're looking at heparin. I want to write the name of the drug on my card and I want to know what is it? What class does it belong to? What does it do? I also want to know, are there any pertinent labs that go with that? So you'll see here we have our normal APTT is 30 to 40 seconds. Our therapeutic is 1.5 to 2.5 times the normal. Those are important things that we want to know. And then I want to know, okay, what are the big things that I need to watch out for? What do I need to educate on? And if there's an antidote, I definitely want to know that. And so these are really great to do with a friend, or you can simplify them and do them with your kiddos. And so you can have that interaction with them as well, where they feel like they're playing a game, or you can even do like a memory game where you put, um, let's say you would put normal APTT on one card, and then on another, you'd put 30 to 40 seconds and see if you can match those up. And kids really enjoy that to do. Now, the other thing is when we're writing out those flashcards, remember, we don't want to put everything there is because that just gets jumbled up and it's not really helpful. We want to focus on those key things. So, what medication we're working with, what category it belongs in, any important labs that we need to know of. And then sometimes if you want to put a visual in there, obviously, heparin is pretty not, really exciting. We wouldn't really have a picture for that. But if you're working on the cranial nerves, maybe you could put a picture for that. That would be helpful as well, especially if you're a visual learner. And then how do we use these? So these are really great to use when you're in the car. Maybe you're in the picking up a kiddo, or maybe you're waiting on your food in the drive-through. You can kind of go through these on a little ring. You can put them into sets. So you see here we have neuro, we have cardiac, we have respiratory. And that's a really great way to learn different medications as well, is to group them into categories instead of trying to learn all of them at the same time. So maybe you're going to do your OB meds, or maybe you're going to do your mental health meds, things like that. And then review them pretty consistently. And then when you find that you have kind of an area that's sticky, you're not quite sure, you feel like you're missing something, go ahead and make a new flashcard for that. That's also going to help you as you're writing them out. You're doing the research for that flashcard, and then make sure you go back and review it. Now, another way that we can organize information is in a concept map. And I love doing these for medications. So today we're going to be looking at our hypertensive medications. So we have our categories. We have our ACEs, we have our calcium channel blockers, our beta blockers, our ARBs. Okay. So I want to know, what do these medications do? What set them apart? What makes them different? I want to know the side effects. And then I want to know, okay, what medications are also in there? So you see over here, we have our ARBs. These are our Artans. So like losartan is a good one. Down here, we have our beta blockers. So our beta blockers are going to be our medications that end in what? Olol, right? These are our laughing medications. So this is another really great way to be able to organize some information. So we've done our studying, we've put in our time. Now what? Go ahead and make yourself some practice tests. There's lots of different ways to kind of make up questions. I really enjoy doing these in group settings where we can make up questions and kind of draw them from a bowl and we can ask them to each other. Or even now we're able to make these in like a PowerPoint format, Quizlet, things like that. Those are great ways to be able to make some practice tests and then figure out where are those gaps at. Go back and see if you can identify the why behind those main concepts to the point where you can understand, you could explain it to someone else. So if you're taking practice exams with the QBank, make sure you understand those rationales to the point where if I sat down, you could say, okay, Jennifer, here's why I chose this answer. Here's why I didn't choose these answers, and make sure that you're able to verbalize those things. Now, I mentioned group studying just a little bit, but sometimes these become a social hour, so we have to be really careful with those. So set some goals. Our CEO here at Archer once told me, if there's no agenda, I no attenda. So set an agenda. Talk about what you're hoping to cover in each session so that everybody knows, they kind of have an idea of what to expect. We can kind of keep each other on track. Um, And then start to notice if someone's not engaged, maybe ask them a question. And so, for that reason, we want to have smaller groups for a group studying. So, about 3 to 4 is it tends to be plenty. Sometimes you can stretch it to 5 or 6, but typically 3 or 4 is really good. And then take turns teaching each other. So everyone is going to learn in a little bit different way. So everyone's going to teach in a little bit different way. And maybe even encourage yourself or challenge yourself. Okay, this week I'm going to teach my stuff in a way that a kinesthetic learner would learn best. Or I'm going to try to include all the learning, the ways of learning in the way that I teach. Okay. Now, I know that studying can be really difficult. And so I want to encourage you that when studying gets difficult, find something that motivates you. Put your goals out there. Remember your why. Find those who are supporting you. So, those who are invested in this, someone, maybe you have a preceptor that's really counting on you. Those are really helpful. Small rewards, taking breaks, breaking things up into smaller chunks can be really helpful and make us feel accomplished. And so at the end of the day, remember, we are in charge of our learning. I have heard students tell me all the time, Jennifer, I don't remember learning this, or I didn't feel like this was really great for me. Remember, we're in charge of our learning, whether that means getting a tutor or going to your instructor and saying, hey, I'm really struggling. Can you help me here? Remember, if you have questions, go ask. And if that person doesn't have the answer, you can always find someone that does. Build a team to support you, your family, your friends, your fellow nursing students. We're all in this together. Here at Archer Review, we remember what it was like to be in nursing school, and we want you to have those things that we wish we had. And one of those things is a supportive environment. And so, actually, just this morning, I got an email from a student that said, Jennifer, I finally did it. I finally passed my NCLEX. And y'all, I did my little happy dance. I was so excited. And so we are excited for you. We are here. We're cheering you on. We want you to remember that you can do this. It's hard, but it's going to be worth it. And remember, we don't like that feedback. We don't like that constructive criticism, but it can help us grow. So if someone is saying, "Hey Jennifer, I really noticed that you were struggling with your OB meds today." I'm going to take that. I'm going to go, "You know what? I could do some work there." And so I am going to work on that. But remember, we can't know everything. You're not expected to know everything, but we should always be learning. So if we ever get to the point where we feel like we have arrived, we're done learning, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Even on our nursing team, every one of our educators will tell you we are still learning. We learn something brand new every day. And I hope that's true for you. So remember, wherever you are on your nursing journey, we're here to support you. Whether you've just decided, hey, I'm going to nursing school in 2026, maybe you just got into nursing school, maybe you're getting ready to start this week or next week, you're in the middle of nursing school, maybe you're getting ready for your NCLEX, or maybe you went back to school to become an NP. We have a space for all of these areas, and we can't wait to work with you. So happy 2026, everyone. I hope you found this helpful. We look forward to seeing you back for our next free webinar. Nursing students, we're rooting for you, and we will see you back next Monday. Thanks, everyone.